doesn't seem to know, in showbiz, timing is everything. If the difficult Duchess wanted to get a better press, she might have asked that hapless husband of hers to drop his excruciatingly self-obsessed legal bid to force his father's government to provide him with armed police protection. The pathetic spectacle of oh-so-entitled Harry sitting in a London court as his lawyer desperately argued that his fading royal status warrants automatic gun guard cop security whenever he visits Britain rather overshadowed the release of Meghan's new podcast series, Confessions of a Female Founder. No doubt about it, Harry's embarrassingly egocentric lawsuit deflected attention away from his wife's latest attempt to prove she's an entertaining interviewer, which epically failed because she so isn't. In fact, she couldn't interview her way out of a paper bag. Throughout this rambling mutual appreciation smugfest with billionaire dating site tycoon Whitney Wolfe Herd, you wonder whether Meghan is listening to a word her accomplished if somewhat fawning guest says. After each response, the hopeless host swiftly returns to her favourite subject, herself. Never mind you, Whitney, and your super successful company Bumble. Let's talk about me. Amid the preposterous plethora of petty platitudes, there are precious few inquiries about the secrets of entrepreneurial success. Instead, as she obsessively plugs her jam-peddling online bric-a-brac site as ever, Meghan informs us that this tawdry moneymaker is an extension of my essence. More evidence that the Duchess struggles with the English language but speaks fluent Californian claptrap. Meanwhile, this prattling pair of self-satisfied wealthy women from Dullsville, Montecito swap toe-curling sycophantic compliments and share their post-birth problems, both of them having suffered from the high blood pressure condition preeclampsia. Our sympathy, of course, but these unexpected medical revelations come across like a classic case of celebrity headline hunting, generating decent publicity for all 8 painfully prolonged 50-minute episodes.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Mr. O'Sullivan, what a spectacle you've made of yourself in this breathless diatribe against the Duchess of Sussex and Prince Harry. I couldn't help but notice the curious mathematics of your outrage. 50+ mentions of me to hammer home a point about self-obsession. While you yourself indulge in precisely the kind of self-importance pontificating you claim to despise. Your attack bears all the hallmarks of a tired tradition. The British tabloid columnist who has mistaken mean-spirited sniping for genuine insight. The irony of lambasting someone for self-importance while appointing yourself supreme arbiter of who deserves security protection and who qualifies as an interviewer appears entirely lost on you. Let's address your snaring dismissal of Prince Harry's security concerns. A man who has faced documented threats, him and his family, whose mother died fleeing aggressive paparazzi seeking protection when visiting his homeland, hardly constitutes an excruciatingly self-obsessed legal bid. That you find the preservation of human safety pathetic and embarrassingly egocentric, oh my, speaks volumes about your own moral compass. As for your assessment of the Duchess podcast, your critique collapses under the weight of its own hyperbole. Couldn't interview her way out of a paper bag? Painfully prolonged? Such lazy phraseology betrays a lack of substantive criticism. When two women discuss pregnancy complications or postpartum that endangers lives, you all chuckle, you all laugh, you criticize it as celebrity headline hunting, revealing far more about your cynicism than their conversation. This is how low you all stoop. Your mockery of Californian claptrap and Dualsville Montecito reads like the snaring of someone who finds genuine emotion you find genuine emotion threatening. Oh, you must be the new manhood, the new example of the macho, manly man. Perhaps what truly offends you isn't self-absorption, but successful women who refuse to apologize for their ambitions or accommodate your narrow expectations. Next time you feel compelled to count the mentions of me in someone else's conversation, Mr. Sullivan, perhaps count the numbers of gratuitous insults in your own commentary. You might discover who's truly obsessed with themselves. Welcome. This is Majesty's Sussex Report, and I'm Antonio. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time here with us.
The only reason he's doing this is he wants the same status as his brother, because his brother does get automatic gun protection, and he's not going to win the case, is he?
You have hit the nail on the head, as per usual, Kevin. It is all about status anxiety. I mean, someone who doesn't have status anxiety doesn't write a book called Spare, all about how they rank within their family. Harry is insecure about his place. And he knows that he really needs the same protection as his brother. It's not about, feeling safe, to be honest. I don't think it's about feeling safe. I think it's literally he gets this, I want that too. Yeah. And that has been his entire childhood, Kevin. And also, just one other thing, I think it's about getting away from Meghan. Yeah. No one goes on a voluntary trip to court for just jollies and fun. Yeah. He just wants to get away from that woman.
I guess we're lucky that
in the theater of broadcast absurdity, where decorum should reign, but instead lies trampled beneath the jackboots of vulgarity, we find ourselves witness to a spectacle so profoundly disturbing that it demands not merely criticism, but unvarnished condemnation. The recent performance, there is no other word to really call it by, if one can dignify it with such a term, of Kevin O'Sullivan on TalkTV, flanked by that grinning echo chamber Samara Gill, and the clown-suited court jester Andrew Eborn, represents not merely a lapse in professional standards, but a deliberate descent into the fetid swamp of racial mockery and abusive conduct. It was an open sewer on live television, venom dressed up as wit, targeting Meghan Sussex and Prince Harry, with the finest of pub brawl and the intellectual rigor of a broken barstool.
Neighbours. By the way, have you ever been to Montecito?
I haven't. Have you?
Yes.
What's it like?
Many times. It is arguably the most dull place I've ever been. But if you're a racist, it's a great place to go because all the people of colour do all the serving industry. They're all the waiters and they're the gardeners, and everybody else is white. That's Montecito for you, California.
What transpired on that broadcast was not the robust exchange of ideas that forms the backbone of a healthy democracy. No. What viewers were subjected to was a grotesque carnival of derision. A host who, puffed up with the false courage of the schoolyard bully, saw fit to hurl racial epithets at his guests, the ones who were black or brown, to mock and demean them with the casual cruelty of one who believes themselves untouchable. Let us be crystal clear in our assessment. This is not entertainment. This is not journalism. This was not even the provocative boundary pushing that some defenders might claim in their morally bankrupt apologetics. This was plain and simple the spectacle of a man intoxicated with his own perceived power, healing the weapon of racial animus with reckless abandonment.
To deny her charges. He does strenuously deny that he's a white savior colonial style racist bully. This is what he's charged. I'm only telling you what he's charged with.
Yeah.
He's charged, Sophie says, he's a white savior, colonial style, racist bully. It doesn't get much worse than that. Harry denies those charges, of course. Time for a bad ad. Andrew has, of course, replaced, many of you will remember, Simon London, our resident village idiot, who had Trump derangement syndrome. He will come back at some point, still, no doubt, demonstrating his serious, worrying case of Trump derangement syndrome. I think we won that. By the way, you may have noticed that was in a different mix. This went viral. There's someone over here in Britain. Brits are only too well aware of her existence. Unfortunately, she does exist. Her name is Narinder Kaur. She was on Big Brother, and she now thinks she's some kind of political commentator. She's somewhat hampered by the fact she doesn't know anything at all. But here she is talking about our royal family. I mean, what indeed does go on in Narinder's mind. But that went viral as well. We'll get him back soon to take the piss out of him again. Here's Narinder again defending Prince Harry. She loves Prince Harry. She doesn't like the royal. Loves, like most idiots. All idiots like Harry and Meghan. People, sentient, intelligent individuals do not. So here's Narinder on Prince Harry. Now, another voice from the past, my friend JJ Anasiobi. He's another sort of lapdog to the gruesome twosome Harry and Meghan. He loves them as well. Lovely guy, old JJ, but not much up top. Right, they call him Bungalow, no upstairs. Right, let's...
So we get to know what exactly Kevin O'Sullivan thinks about his black and brown co-host or guest when they're invited to collaborate or to speak on his show. Now, don't think that his white panel, that they don't interject. They do. Samara, as an example, she declared that Simon is an idiot. And Andrew, also about Simon, he said, oh, he's at home filling out his coloring book. And I'm paraphrasing that. So there is no mistaking what these people think and the way they think. What is most appalling, disgusting, revolting is the giggles, the laughter, because you see, they would like you to believe that this is all fun and games, that this is just them joking. Oh, come on, you can't take a joke. That this is perhaps, maybe, satire. But you see, here's what happens with that. I have not heard him call either one of his white co-hosts idiots, or that they were vacant of any intellectual or reasonable thought. I haven't heard it. Have not heard it. If anything, he has complimentary words for them. So when I say we, I mean black, brown, minorities in general, voluntarily, for exchange of a few coins, give our bodies and minds up to be branded as idiots and as vacant upstairs in the brain, we're not just selling ourselves out. We're selling generations out. Because they're children, black, brown, white, who watch, who listen, who learn. But not just children. Teenagers, the next generation, the old generation, all of us. And whether that sort of labeling, branding, is unconsciously in our system that makes us sell ourselves out for a few coins. We need to look very carefully, check ourselves, and perhaps think not just about ourselves, but about our legacy. O'Sullivan's conduct, his shouting, his name calling, his racist remarks, stands as a testament to the rot that has infected certain quarters of our media landscape. When a host believes it acceptable to treat guests, black and brown, as objects of derision rather than as fellow human beings worthy of basic dignity, we have crossed a threshold into dangerous territory indeed. But those are just words. We have crossed a threshold into dangerous territories. I feel rather like a fraud saying that. Because how many more lines do we allow to be crossed? How many times do we allow to be insulted, to be yelled at as if we were children, as if we were a boy or a little girl, told to shut up, which Kevin O'Sullivan does. I recall not too long ago, a few months ago, I don't recall his name, it was on GB News. He was the one black panelist. The host of this particular show or program was quite, let me see, a word that will be accepted by the white majority as okay to use on this platform. Flamboyancy. He was flamboyant. Nothing wrong with that. And the black panelist said something or the other. He usually used to be very much against the Sussexes and, to get his little good boy clap. But this time, he tried to defend them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And he dared to contradict or correct one of the other panelists who was white. The host, rather, I don't know if it's a young looking person, it's neither there or here, very quickly put him in his place. Very quickly put, and I want to say another word here, but Jesus, baby Jesus, thank you. But put this grown man into his place and shut him up. Shut him up. Scold him as if he were a little boy, a little child that had no brains, no useful thought, just the village idiot. You see, they're not using the N word, they're not using some other derogatory word, even though I may say that. I'll tell you this, I haven't, not like I'm an avid watcher of anything GB News does or produces or throws out into the world to contaminate our brains and ear and everything else, allegedly. But I have not seen him on any of their programming. Mind you, I think there's rumors that they haven't paid latrine or laboratory or whatever that person's name is, that even her mother couldn't stand her. They haven't paid her to appear on their shows. Well, so I haven't seen him. So at some point, for those who are in the media system or have that opportunity, or you are in a public space where you are part of a panel or you've been asked questions or anything to that sort, you have to make a decision as to whether or not you are willing to sell your body out and that of generations to come for a few coins. For a few coins. Because the word may change, but the sentiment of how they feel is the same, is exactly the same. It is my hope that you are enjoying or learning or doing both things at the same time today's podcast. And I would like to suggest, if this is your first time around the channel, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, putting your notifications on, sharing, leaving a message. All those things help the algorithm say that we are worth it. And I think we are. Look, they're all different types of royal families, right? Let's support the Sussexes. Thank you. Vulgarity masquerades as insight and mockery poses as analysis. You bore witness to yet another performance of that most tedious of contemporary dramas, the ritual humiliation of what is left of British media, intelligence, and any real grasp of reality. It's the abandonment of any pretense of decency. But Samara and that crew of deeply troubled and unhappy mouthpieces still had even lower to stoop. The gleeful celebration of King Charles supposedly rejecting his own son, not on your life. They chuckled as if family estrangement is a source of entertainment rather than sorrow. This speaks volumes about the moral bankruptcy of this discourse. That they would take perverse pleasure in a father and son's separation, particularly when the father is allegedly battling cancer, reveals a callousness that defies comprehension. As for the treatment of the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan, it descends to levels so base that one wonders if they possess even a modicum of self-awareness. Dull as a doorknob, they sneer, as if their own discourse represented some pinnacle of intellectual brilliance. Check yourself. They mock her business ventures with contemptuous dismissal. Tacky little jam brand. Revealing not her failures because she did not fail. You can invent, create, dream up whatever narrative you want to tell yourself and the idiots that listen and watch you. But honey, when that family is officially billionaires, go cry yourself a river. Because all you have revealed is your own petty jealousy. And no matter what flashy, cheap $2, nope, don't go there. Thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, baby Jesus. That they would ridicule a woman's disclosure of a serious medical condition like preeclampsia, which can be life-threatening, as merely a publicity stunt, demonstrates a viciousness that transcends ordinary meanness. They embody the very worst aspects of a culture that mistakes cruelty for cleverness and confuses character assassination with commentary. They're not defenders of the monarchy. They are its greatest liability, reducing a 1,000-year institution to the level of reality television fodder. These self-appointed guardians of British dignity demonstrate such a profound lack of it themselves. They claim to stand for tradition while trampling the traditional virtues of fairness, decency, and restraint. There is a particular species of cowardice that masquerades as boldness in our current media ecosystem. It is the cowardice of those who believe that cruelty equals courage, mockery equals wit, that racial antagonism equals telling it like it is. O'Sullivan and his insert whatever word you wish exemplifies this cowardice in its most concentrated form. Perhaps O'Sullivan is not capable because it takes a certain type of person to understand how to not pick the lowest hanging fruit, because it just not only makes you dumb and stupid, but you're not intellectually challenged, and the people you report to be caring for, you keep them in their muddy swamp of ignorance. Let us not forget that O'Sullivan's behavior, reprehensible as it is, occurs within an institutional context. TalkTV bears responsibility for providing a platform for such toxic displays. Every producer who green lights these segments, every executive who failed to establish and enforce basic standards of decency, colleagues who remain silent in the face of such abhorrent behavior. Complicit you all are. A complete failure of values and morality, of decency. Talk TV that broadcasts such poison into the homes of viewers is not merely a neutral conduit. It is an active participant in the degradation of public discourse. It has made the calculation that controversy, however vile, however disgusting, however falsehoods, half-truths are being told, doesn't matter. Because it all translates to viewership. And that viewership trumps, no pun intended there, all considerations of ethics, decency, social responsibility. Doesn't exist anymore. What makes this incident particularly pernicious is its normalization of racist behavior in public forums, that they can say these things and just laugh, face no consequences. So the message then that is sent is pretty clear. Racial abuse is acceptable if it generates ratings and laughter. Misogyny allowed. Cruelty allowed. Their message, their show, it corrodes the very foundation of a diverse democratic society. The mockery, racial epithets, the discourse of misinformation, of hate, of weaponizing certain situations, issues. All of that, it doesn't just stay isolated within a studio. And these things have ramifications to them. They're not isolated incidents. They all have consequences. They also are the symptoms of a broader pathology, a willingness to sacrifice human dignity on the altar of sensationalism, greed, money. Each such incident pushes the boundaries of acceptable discourse further into the territory of the intolerable. As we keep pushing, these transgressions will become even worse and much easier to just justify. The Kevin O'Sullivan Show demonstrates how media platforms can normalize deeply problematic discourse. Throughout the show, we see language that goes far beyond legitimate criticism, descending into mockery, racial stereotyping, and dehumanization. Just rhetoric. When O'Sullivan makes comments about Montecito being a place where all the people of color do all the serving, while everyone else that's white, they live there. He's not offering analysis, but he's perpetrating harmful racial stereotypes. These narratives, when left unchallenged, don't exist in isolation. They become part of a broader cultural conversation that shapes public perception and attitudes. The repetitive nature of such content, that show, right, that has dedicated numerous, if not every single day, episodes to criticizing Meghan and Harry, especially Meghan, creates an echo chamber. Sorry, echo chamber. It's an echo chamber. Where hostility becomes normalized and even expected. Look, the treatment of Meghan on the show reveals a troubling intersection of racial and gender based hostility. The language used to describe her is consistently belittling and dismissive. This type of gendered criticism is compounded by racial undertones. Disgusting. And this is why I I choose to do this ever so often because it is so, it's so disgusting that I my system, my being does not let me move forward until I do something about it. It matters. It matters because it reflects and reinforces broader societal prejudices. When public figures who are women of color, Black women, are subjected to disproportionate criticism that focuses on their character, their race, rather than their actions, it normalizes similar treatment for others. Not only for it to happen to other minorities, but it for other minorities or others to then do it back to the Black community. Most concerning is how the show normalizes dehumanization language. Oh, they revel in accusations against Harry and Meghan. They say things like, delicious irony. That's it. Delicious irony. They mock Meghan's disclosure of a serious medical condition. It's not the first time they've done it. They do it all the time. And look, there's another hour I can sit here and discuss about the Princess of Wales and her diagnosis, okay? And make the comparison, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not. I don't care. It is just absolutely shocking. That type of discourse strips subjects of their humanity and reduces them to objects of nothing. That is why you can, and I say this again, go on any of these comment sections on these shows, or even when they were transmitting the live from the court in the UK in London last week. The vitriol and the disgusting stuff being said about Prince Harry. If someone told me that the British public would be so easily convinced that this brave heart prince would be diminished to people wanting him to not be, I don't even want to say it. The normalization of so many things these days is just, it's mind-boggling to me. It's dangerous. It's lowering the threshold more and more and more. In this increasingly divided world, the media has played an important role in increasing the divide. The ability to identify and counter harmful narratives is an essential civic skill to have. And for us to be able to recognize it and do something about it. Okay, so this is take 4. If I were in the movies or something, they would have that thing that goes click to mark. This is take 4. I made a mess in take 1, take 2, and take 3. And I walked away from it for about 30 minutes. So I'm back. And however this comes out, this is what I'm going to post, okay? Because I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to do my best to control my emociones, my feelings. Feelings, oh, feelings. Um, Anyways, and anyhow, and anywho's. My dear familia, okay, how do I start this again? Look, they say that life can change in an instant. One moment. You could be just going through your day at work or at home or wherever, caught up in your routine, thinking about work deadlines or responsibilities that you need to attend to that you haven't yet. And next, you're faced with your own mortality. And I know so many of you know this story already. That was my reality not so long ago. When I found myself in the hospital emergency room, then being rushed in, and eventually the doctor saying to me, "You're a lucky man. You were likely minutes away from having a cardiac arrest or a massive stroke. Both cases could have died." Oh man, sorry. Woo. Antonio. My blood pressure had soared to over 260. And in that moment, everything sort of changed in my head and in the way I see certain things and the pressure I put on myself. There I was with like blood all over and I'd left like 3 towels, just blood, because I was bleeding nonstop to my nose. And I did. It's so weird though, I wasn't scared. I felt very calm. I felt very at peace. And perhaps, maybe it's because I was hooked up to all this stuff, and I went right back to being that child that was in the hospital so often. And I had such an amazing conversation with that child because he had these big dreams and, nothing was impossible. He dreamed and he dreamed big and it was like a big telenovela where everything was good and happy. There was no conflicts. And even if they were just these small little things and they would get resolved really, really quickly. Or perhaps a musical or something. Big dreams, that kid. And I also realized like how much I had abandoned those dreams because I allowed people to convince me that I was not good enough. Not good enough. Maya Angelou once wrote, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." As I laid in that hospital bed, there was all these stories that I had in my head. I mean, personal stories of my family, things that I've navigated, things that I didn't know what I was going to do with these stories. I really didn't. But there they were. I realized that these stories I had left untold, how many dreams I had just put aside or stop even thinking about them or dreaming about them because out of fear, out of accepting other people's views and opinion about my dreams. Fear. Fear that my voice didn't matter. But here's what I've learned. Life doesn't wait for our fears to subside. It doesn't. It simply continues. It continues with or without our participation. And so with this sort of second official chance given, I don't know if it's the second, I don't know if it's the third or fourth or fifth, but God's grace said, here you go. Here you go. So I decided to stop waiting, to stop allowing fear to dictate my path. Well, for the most part. James Baldwin, great man, reminded us that, and I love this quote so much, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Incredible. I faced my fear, not all of them, but quite a few of them. Fear of inadequacy. And I began this journey on this channel, Majesty's Sussex Report. You should have seen me trying to come up with a name. So we've been here for over a year plus. A space dedicated to all things Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, to bring some levity to certain things and to be a conduit for us to grow, to educate. Every time something comes up that I'm not sure about, or I'm like, what's that? I don't just leave it, because I'm thinking, if I have a question about this, there are other people in our community that may have the same question. So let's go find out what it's about. So I love doing all of that. It gives us such sense of purpose that you're doing something And with the amount of hatred and vitriol and all of that directed at the Duke and the Duchess and their beautiful family, I wanted to do more than what I was already doing. And this was, my part. But little did I know that, oh man, whew. Oh, baby Jesus. And I'm going to upload this because I'm not going to redo it. I'm not going to redo it. That taking that step, that act perhaps of courage would connect me to 3,000 plus incredible souls. Because we are connected one way or another. We may not what am I trying to say? You have chosen to spend time, to as I say, you've chosen to take some of your valuable time to spend it here. And I am so grateful and thankful. This milestone isn't just a number. It represents a community, a family we've built together, united by shared interest and mutual respect. Pablo Neruda got some beautiful poetry. Wrote, "You can cut all..." Come on, I can do this. You can cut all the flowers, but you cannot keep spring from coming. And that's what you all have been for me. An unstoppable spring, blooming despite whatever obstacle might appear. Your comments, your encouragement, your support have turned what began as a personal challenge into something far greater that I treasure so much. I mean, I remember when I got the first 50 people. I was so excited. I was like, bring out the champagne. Then when we got to 100, also, it's like, bring out the champagne. I am so, so grateful. So grateful. As the Duke and Duchess themselves reminds us that service is universal. Through this channel, I have found a way to serve, to create, to dream, to inform, entertain. Okay, I'm going to stop now. And in return, you've served me by showing up, by believing in this space we've created together. 3,000 subscribers mean 3,000 reasons to be thankful. 3,000 reminders that following your passion can lead to beautiful unexpected places. 3,000 proof. And face it. Oh, baby Jesus. That face it, your fears is always worth it. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. The one and only Maya Angelou. That is like stamped in my heart. And it's the way I intend to navigate the world. I truly hope that this channel has made you feel welcome, valued, and part of something special. Because that's exactly what each of you have done for me. You say some of the kindest things I've ever heard. And it just reignites my hope in humanity, in people. Because ultimately, I want to live in a kind world with kind people. And too often, I am faced with how cruel the world is. But I choose to lay my eyes on those beautiful blossoms of flowers and greenery and sunshine that each and every one of you are. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for turning what could have been the end of my story into a magnificent new experience and new beginning. Thank you for reminding me daily that life's greatest gift often come when we find the courage to step beyond our comfort zones. I'm raising my imaginary flute with champagne in it. And I say, here's to 3,000 plus subscribers, to doing the thing that scared you enormously, and to all the stories we have yet to tell together. Thank you. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time with us. It truly, truly means the world to me.
You don't preach, you just appear, and silence sounds like God is near. I drink your name like Sunday wine. You're the prayer that saves me every time. You're laying me down in your sanctuary, touching my soul like it's ordinary. But it's not, it's stained glass, it's firelight, and I am undone, I'm sanctified. sanctified. Shatter me gentle, take what I hide. Shape me again with holy fire. And no cathedral ever knew this grace. No scripture ever held your face. You're laying me down in your cell.